And was there anything suspicious that night? Something that gave motive to the cause of Mr. Drami's death?
Are you accusing us of foul play?
Mrs. Drysdale.
That's absurd. Everyone loved Dad, and he wanted us to be taken care of. And who are you?
Mrs. Drysdale, I understand that this is a difficult time for you with your father's death, but to answer your question in short, yes, I do believe that there was a case of foul murder.
And with what evidence?
Well, I'm a private investigator and someone hired me to look at this case.
Who?
Another question I can't answer. I do not know. I don't know who hired me, but I do know that someone thought something happened here and I want to help you get to the bottom of this. So, if you don't mind, I want to ask you a few questions. You said that Richard arrived here early to help, correct?
Yes.
What about it? Curious. Did he ever tell you anything that might have occurred between him and Harlan that night?
He said that Harlan arrived early and let him help set up.
Interesting. Did he perchance argue with anyone that night?
Actually, he did. I remember him having an argument with Joni. I don't even know why she's still around. She's not even part of the family. I swear she's only using Dad to get money off of him to fund that so-called self-made business of hers and all that nonsense. I actually built my own empire from the ground up with no help. Just saying.
Empire? And what exactly did you build?
Well, I ran my own realtor company. Dad didn't help, but he gave me all my wits and courage. He and I are really close. We have our own way of communicating through little games.
But we've always built everything ourselves. I built my realtor company and Walt ran the publishing company that printed Dad's composing. Joni's the only one who leeches off of him.
Interesting. Well, I believe that's all I have for you, Miss Drysdale.
Yes, that will be all. I will come meet Alex. Okay, Joni, next.
Hey, I heard it's my turn. What's this forecast? I got interrogated last week. Mrs. Dromby, it's a pleasure to meet you. Yes, interrogations were over with, but we found a few discrepancies that we thought it would be best to revisit. To be safe, of course. So, what can I do for you gentlemen? Mrs. Dromby, what was your relationship with the Drombys if y'all are not blood related?
So basically, I married Neil. He's Harlan's oldest son, but unfortunately, he passed 15 years ago. But I fit right in with the Dromby. They love me. I'm part of the family, you know? But as sweet Harlan, he's always paying for my daughter Meg's tuitions.
Does he now?
Yes, he did. Isn't that so sweet of him? Linda never liked it, but she always said that I leached off of him, but I never have. You know, I'm a help influencer, and I did that all by myself. Unlike Linda, he loaned $1 million in cash from Harlan and made him sign a prenup to make sure that he didn't get a penny from it.
Interesting. And by any chance, did you remember Harlan talking to anyone that night?
As a matter of fact, I did. When I arrived early to help out the caterers, I saw Harlan and Richard. They were in his study, and I heard Harlan say something about, if you don't tell her, I will. Whatever that was about.
Wasn't Richard helping set up?
Richard didn't even help set up one plate. He spent the whole night arguing with Harlan. And then later that night, there was a screaming match between Harlan and Ransom. He left soon after. And we haven't seen him at all since. He didn't even go to the funeral.
I see. And did you and Harlan talk at all that night privately?
Well, we were discussing about an issue with the money wired from Meg's school, but it got sorted out.
Okay.
And what? Is there something else?
No, that's all.
I'm sorry to interrupt whatever's going on, but I have a meditation appointment I have to get to, and I can't miss that.
Here, you go.
Who's next?
We just sort some stuff out loud before we bring anyone else in. Already from the beginning, we had people like, question is who? Linda claimed Richard and Harlan never argued, yet Joni just said that they did.
And Linda never got the money from Harlan too.
Exactly. So, we already know someone lied from the beginning. Again, the question is who?
This is going to be harder than expected.
Hi! Ms. Cabrera, thank you for joining us.
Of course, although not really sure why I'm here. Got questioned a couple weeks ago about things.
Well, have you noticed that everyone in the family has something to gain out of Mr. Tommy's death by any chance?
No, I actually didn't notice that. Why would any of them attempt at all to kill him? I mean, they were either his grandfather or father.
Well, sometimes money can corrupt the heart, Miss Cabrera.
Precisely. So I called you today because despite the fact that you took care of him for years prior to his death, you had absolutely nothing to gain from his passing on. In any case, you have more to lose. So I want to hear your story, the neutral point of view, from the beginning, please.
Okay, well, it was Harlan's 85th birthday, and the family wanted to come together at the concert hall to hear his newest piece being premiered. However, the family was a bit rowdy, and I could definitely sense there was some tension.
Yeah, so what happened after?
Well, Joni and Richard left early because he said they had to finish setting up something for the house, and then that's when Harlan had left because he had some paperwork and finances to sort out.
You remember any arguments between them? Between Joni, Harlan, Richard?
Well, not that I'm aware of exactly, but there was some tension between them all after the rest of us had arrived, but it's not really unusual between the Thrombys. Oh, but I do remember Harlan having an argument with Ransom before dinner, and then after with Walt.
So, what happened after?
Miss Cabrera, I know this must be very hard for you, but we want to help everyone here, including you, to find out what happened that night.
Well, I'm not exactly sure. However, the whole celebration before it, Harlan had said,
What did you say?
he said he was going to cut everyone off.
Well, that makes for an interesting turn of events. A true plot twist, just like Mr. Harlan Dombey would have wanted. It's actually quite character-driven.
That's not the point, Betty.
Well, then what is? It gives them all reason to kill Harlan Dombey. All we have to do is figure out who it was.
Easier said than done.
Miss Cabrera, walk me through what happened that night from your perspective one more time, in detail, please.
Well, we went to the concert, and then Joni, Harlan, and Richard all left early to finish setting up the house. When we all arrived for dinner, I remember there being tension between Richard, Joni, and Harlan. Later on, there was a screaming match between Harlan and Ransom, who left abruptly afterward. Harlan also talked to Walt, and he seemed upset about something, but no one knew why. The rest of the night was normal. Well, as normal as it got with the Thrombys. Harlan retired early, and I went to him to give him his medications. After that, I stayed for a little longer, and then left for home. That's all I remember.
Story checks out.
Yes, it does. But there's still something missing, and the Lone Ranger said he'd be here around noon. We have 1 hour to finish interviewing everyone. Miss Cabrera, would you mind stepping outside? We'll call you if everything's needed.
Could you send a Richard, please?
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
I heard we're doing interviews again.
Mr. Drysdale, please have a seat.
What's going on?
Mr. Greiser, the night of Mr. Strong's death, we were informed that you had an argument with him.
Pardon?
You were overheard by someone yelling at Harlan saying, either you tell her or I will. Care to explain?
Oh yeah, that. And he did say that. Oh, Harlan, he's such a funny guy. He was referring to my proposition of putting Great Nana into a nursing home. Yeah, Linda loves Great Nana and doesn't like any sort of talk about putting her into a nursing home. I guess Harlan caught wind of it and threatened to tell her if I didn't. Pity that he didn't get the chance to. If anyone's suspicious, it's Walt. He's the one that's been upcharging constantly because the economy is bad. But secretly, he's a greedy little that wants to make more money for himself.
And what did Harlan do about this?
I don't know. He's always turning it around whenever it's brought up around him. But he looked more upset this time around. Who knows?
And would you say that Walt is Harlan's favorite?
Yeah, Walt has always been Harlan's favorite. He's the youngest and he's been handed everything he has, including the composing and publishing company.
I see. Well, Mr. Greiser, I really don't have any more questions for you. Lieutenant, if you could please escort him out and bring in Walt Strong next, please.
This way.
We have a slight dilemma.
What is?
Someone is lying. These stories aren't lining up, and even though superficially it all makes sense and fits, nothing's actually correct.
So what do you suggest we do?
We interview Walt, we then interview Ransom, and, well, I don't know what to do after that.
Well, I suppose it's my turn. I was wondering if I was going to be called in, if at all.
We wouldn't want to leave us on the button now, would we?
Alright, well, what do you want to know?
Straight to the point. Okay. Mr. Thornbury, what is your position in your late father's publishing and composing company?
Oh, that's easy. I basically ran it. Once Dad retired, he only focused on composing new scores in his free time. I dealt with business, deals, shipments, pricing, you know, that works.
And your father, he was okay with all this?
Yes, of course he was. The only thing he was ever stubborn about was raising the prices of our scores. He said that everyone should have access to music and the beauty of it. And I understand, but there's simply no way to do that when this economy is so expensive. You know, I told him if we keep the prices as low as they were, we were going to go bankrupt in a couple of years.
Well, what did he say about this?
Well, he didn't want to go back to the topic once again. We revisit it every month or so whenever we get together to do finances, he always has to shut me down. I knew I was going to inherit the company someday, and I could do whatever I wanted then, but I really wish Dad would have backed me on this. I would feel wrong if I increased prices without his consent or knowledge.
Mr. Stompy, I'm gonna go straight to the point with you since you were so kind to have done stuff with me. I was called here today because someone suspects that there was a motive for one of y'all to kill your father. They suspected foul play, so to say.
And you think I would kill Dad just to increase prices? That's absurd, Mr. Blanc. You're a messed up man. Why would family ever do that to each other? You've got it all wrong. I want you out of this house. You hear me? Out. Don't come near us ever. Don't investigate our business, none of the sorts. All you do is come here and stir up trouble and dig up stuff that should stay buried. And
Well, I believe I don't have any more questions for you. Lieutenant, if you could please escort him out.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here in a timely manner. Is everyone here?
I believe Ransom's on his way. He should be here shortly.
No one wants Ransom here. He hasn't been to the funeral and hasn't contacted anyone.
I don't know what you're talking. You're not even a part of this family.
Hey, whoa, let's calm down. We'll wait a few minutes till Ransom gets here. If not, we'll continue on with the reading.
This won't take very long. Let's get started.
And where have you been? Places, but I'm here now.
Isn't it ironic that you only show up for the book reading? You only want to leech off of grandfather's money. Mom was right. Nothing has changed.
Who are you to talk? Don't you have some politicians to argue with online? Isn't that what you do in your free time?
No, I only read up on politics around the world. I don't argue with them. Not yet, at least.
Whatever, weirdo. Let's get this over with. I have stuff to do.
Right. So I would like to mention that Harlan did change his will about a week before he died. It's been sealed and wasn't submitted to the court until after his death. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask me. But overall, it's pretty straightforward. Okay. So Harlan's assets included the house, $60 million in various cash accounts and investments, and of course, the real asset, the publishing and composing company. And he also wanted me to read this to you all before I finish. Dear Joni, Linda, and Walt, the changes I've made may not seem correct, but trust me when I say it's for the best and the right choice for our legacy to live on. Love, Dad.
So cryptic. I love it.
Wow, yes, this will be very quick after all. I, Harlan Thrombey, being of sound mind and body, and blah, 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 I hereby direct that all my assets, liquids, and otherwise leave their entirety to Marta Cabrera. My entire ownership of composing and publishing, I leave to Marta Cabrera. All its copy and catalog, likewise, I also leave to Marta Cabrera, who will continue my legacy and its excellence through dedication to helping others.
There has to be a mistake.
no, this can't be right. Alan, let me see this.
This can't be legal.
It's right.
It gives us so many medications.
It must be best for John.
Alan, you can take this paper and all of it with you. And all you cops too. Get out. Now. Right now.
I think we all just need to calm down. Marta, how about you step outside and meet me in the other room? I'll be there shortly.
Marta, no, please, we just want to talk. Please, Marta.
Are you right?
No, I mean, I guess. I found this.
Ms. Cabrera, I need you to be completely honest with me. Was there any reason, I don't know, that would have caused Mr. Dombey to cut off his family from his will?
No. Well, I mean, he did say he was going to cut them off, as I said before, but I wasn't expecting it from his will. I just thought it was because of the moment.
What else did he tell you?
He told me that he was going to tell them all during the party, but I guess I must have forgotten to tell you all about that. I'm sorry.
Isn't that a fun mystery?
Well, that does clear a lot of stuff up. I mean, now everyone has a motive to kill him.
That's true. And he probably wanted to see his family truly love him for himself and not just because he had money.
But what does the note mean? I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I didn't have any intentions to kill him. I went to the party as a friend and a nurse, and we all had dinner as a family. And then we just all went to bed like any other day. I gave him his medicine, and then we went home, just like I told you earlier.
And I understand, Mr. Cabrera, but someone out here thinks you were to blame. We'll get down to the bottom of this. It's very easy to rule you out. Can you go ahead and get the toxicology report? I called ahead of time and they said it's ready.
Yes, sir. All right. They were very persistent about being let in to talk to Marta, but my associate is holding them off. Let's just, we don't take long. Here's the tox report.
Thank you. Let's see here. Mr. Cabrera, which medicines did he take Mr. Tommy takes?
He would take 100 milligrams of Toradol and 3 milligrams morphine to help him sleep better.
And did you, by any chance, switch out that medicine those nights?
No, not at all. I mean, if anything, that would have killed him.
Exactly.
Oh, no. It can't be true. I would never.
Miss Rivera, take a deep breath. You're a good nurse and attentive one. You would make sure that you would give him what the vial says, correct?
Yes. I've always read the instructions and followed them very carefully. I even marked the morphine with the red Sharpie to make sure that mix-up would never happen. I just don't know what.
Okay, can you go ahead and listen down Mr. Strong? Sure my colleague is still there from last night?
Here you go.
Thank you. Okay. Now, there's a very simple way to see which one is which. If you see here, this one says turtle, and this label says morphine. But if you look at the bottom, the turtle has the red dot. Didn't you say you put the red dot on the morphine?
Yeah.
Then it means someone switched the labels, and it wasn't you. So who was it? Who here would be so greedy as to not show up for anything except the reading of the will? Who was so close to Harlan that this would have hurt them more than anyone else?
Oh, you know who it is?
I have a suspicion, but I won't be able to make a conclusion until I interrogate one last person. Okay, can you please bring in Mr. Hugh Anderson Drysdale? Mr. Drysdale, how nice of you to finally join us.
How could I miss this party, all this chaos? It's so lovely. All because Miss Cabrera doesn't know which medicine is which.
I'll get to the chase. What did you and Mr. Tommy talk about on the night of his birthday? You were overheard by Miss Cabrera and the family saying, I'm warning you. So what were you warning Mr. Tommy about?
Well, if we're all being so honest, I was wondering about what would happen if he made Marta his sole inheritor. I mean, isn't it a bit weird if his nurse, who is merely a legal resident, were to suddenly inherit everything in his will?
So, you are admitting that you did threaten Mr. Tommy that night?
Threaten? Threaten isn't the word I would use. I warned him. I told him to be cautious of his choices. I mean, why would any of us want dear-old granddad dead?
Maybe because you knew that if someone killed him, someone who had something to gain from his death, the will would have been reverted back to his original will. The will where you would have inherited a big portion of his money and estate.
Alright, but what does that have to do anything with me?
You were the one who would have the most to gain out of his death.
Okay, so let me go on here and try to guess what happened that night. Look at this. Mr. Drysdale, the night of the party, your grandfather called you in relatively early to talk in his office. Most likely about you being disinherited from the will, correct? You then threatened him, not about disinheriting the family, but actually threatened him with murderous intentions. You were then seen leaving that night, which was a series of Harlan telling his family that they were disinherited. Later that night, Harlan was given some medication by Miss Cabrera here, who was unaware that the meds were switched by you.
And how exactly are you sure that it was me who switched the medicines? Maybe Marta did it on purpose. After all, she has no money, no future here, had it not been for Granddad. All you needed to do was to stay out of our business. Do you know how annoying it was to have you around leeching off our grandfather and his money? Family business, exactly what it means. Family, and you are not family, Marta.
Maybe that's why Harlan switched his will. He knew you would have never been good enough to carry on his legacy. All you would have ever done was just waste his money.
Just stay out of it. Had you done that from the start, I wouldn't have had to take matters into my own hands and get rid of you.
What?
Yeah, that's right. I switched the labels. And guess what? You have no way of proving that you gave me the wrong dosage accidentally, and you also have no way of incriminating me.
Well, actually, we do. I might have sort of been recording the whole thing the whole time you were here. It is my job, after all, and this might come in handy in incriminating people while getting down to the bottom of things.
It's all God's fault. You are under arrest for the murder of Harlan Drumby and the attempt to frame an innocent woman, Martha Cabrera. You are going away for a long time, mister.
Miss Cabrera, it's been a pleasure to inform you that you are innocent and not in charge of the murder of Mr. Drumby. What happened here was out of your hands. Now that it's over, is there anything I can do to help you?
As a matter of fact, yes. I need your help kicking him out of my home. It's been a long day and I just want to get this all sorted out by the end of the day by myself.
It would be an honor.
Marta, we need to talk. All that money, all those assets, they're not truly yours. I mean, they've been in our family for years and
And it's the right thing to give back to us. It's what our father did.
No, Harlan left it to me for a reason.
I'm trying to honor his wish like y'all should have.
What? No, you can't. Actually, she can. Peter Cup is a treadmill. It says her house, her room, her coffee. So, like the note says, you all be kind. Please exit the premises. Miss Raxdale might not be in the best of moods right now, but I believe she'd like to read this.
Yes, I believe she'd like to know about this as well, but I don't know, I kind of feel bad though. Today's already been a rough day for her.
I mean, she'll find out eventually. Her father would have wanted her to know, given that Mr. Drysdale didn't tell her about it.
It's true. Let's see what happens.
Richard! Miss Cabrera, it's been a pleasure working with you, but I believe it's time for me to go. It's very nice meeting you, although I do wish we had met at the day.
Linda, calm down.
Are there intentions?
I look this way.